If you're having any of these health symptoms, I would immediately go to your doctor and ask for a full thyroid panel to be done, as well as the antibody tests. Hi, I'm Chanel. I'm currently down 140 pounds while battling an autoimmune disease. These are just some of the symptoms that I had as somebody who does have a thyroid condition and an autoimmune disease called Hashimotos. That has been shown to lower your metabolism anywhere between 40 and 70%. I'm going to tell you about some of the less obvious symptoms, but obviously the main symptom was simply just weight gain. I was in the gym 5 to 6 days a week, and suddenly I was gaining weight. Even when I lowered my calories, it was like the weight would not move, it would only go up. And that was the main symptom that got me to go to the doctors. But if I had seen these other symptoms much earlier, I would have been able to get treatment for Hashimoto's much earlier, and Hashimoto's is a progressive disease. And one of the ones that I noticed very early on was muscle fatigue. Again, I was in the gym like 6 days a week, and so I was used to having muscle fatigue, but I started noticing that my recovery was taking forever. And I started noticing that it seemed like the rate at which my muscles were weak did not correlate to the amount of working out I had done. I was having to use less weight, smaller weights. I was starting to do less repetitions, and I just thought, well, as I'm losing, I must be losing muscle as well. But no, that was a symptom of Hashimoto's. And then I started noticing that my back would really hurt and my knees would really hurt. And this turns out that it was from inflammation, which is a big symptom of Hashimoto's, maybe other thyroid conditions as well. And by the time I finally had a doctor believe me that I was not just overeating and gaining this weight, the pain had gotten so bad that I couldn't even stand up for more than a minute without extreme pain. Because, oh yeah, even when I went to the first doctor, they just insisted that I must be lying in my food log, even though I'd kept the food log for 15 months at this point. And the next symptom was my face got really puffy and the circles under my eyes were getting darker and darker. And one of the weirdest symptoms that I don't see very many people talk about is I started to get a lot of anxiety when I had never had anxiety before. My skin was also getting extremely dry no matter how much lotion that I put on it, and my periods became very irregular. Like I'm talking, I would go months without having a period. But all of this I excused because I just thought I am losing weight, so that must be triggering it. I am going to the gym all the time, so that must be triggering all of these things. Of course I'm in pain. Of course I feel weak. Of course I feel foggy and fatigued because I'm going all the time. So it wasn't until I started to gain weight while doing everything I had done to lose the weight that I really thought something is bad here. And even then, I had to go to 4 different doctors. And finally, the last doctor, I think that they only ran the tests and the panels because I cried. And I insisted that if they were not going to treat me, that they write it in my charts. Because at this point, I thought that I had had cancer or something, like something bad. And when you are a bigger person, they just don't take it seriously. Because how can you be gaining weight